Okay, we're going to be going after the Master Sword in this video. Now, first thing you're going to have to do if you want to get the Master Sword, you have to make sure you have 13 heart containers or more. But if you have any less than 13, you'll end up dying while trying to pull the sword out of the rock. And the place to go, the sword is located inside Hyrule Forest. Actually, it says they're great Hyrule Forest, but this is actually Korok Forest inside of here, and you got the Lost Woods out here. And you want to go to Woodland Stable. I mean, you don't have to go to Woodland Stable, but that's the way I usually go. Just run up this path here. So what we're going to be doing is running all the way up this path and entering the Lost Woods right here. And I'll be showing how to navigate the Lost Woods because it can be kind of confusing if it's the first time. And one mistake I've made a few times going up here is I accidentally veer to the right, but you want to make sure you go to the left up here. Not that it's that big of a deal, but you end up running into monsters if you take a right. The most important thing is to have 13 heart containers, at least. You can have more than that, you can have 14, 15, 20, 30. But you can't have any less than 13 or it's not going to do you much good. I mean, I guess it's possible you can make it to the Master Sword on less than 13 heart containers. And then you could beat one of the shrines there and have a travel gate, so when you do get 13 heart containers, you can do it, but I usually just wait until I got 13 heart containers just to go after it. It's actually a lot simpler than you'd think. The first time I played it, I was kind of confused. And I was doing it a really hard way, and then I discovered there's an easier way to do it. Okay, so here's the Lost Woods. Now you don't have to worry about getting attacked by any monsters inside the Lost Woods. Okay. So why is that danger music? I think there's a wolf right outside the Lost Woods. Anyway, you don't have to worry about getting attacked in here. Okay, now, if you go in the wrong direction, that fog you see will envelop the whole screen and will take you back to the beginning. Like right back to probably this gate, I don't remember exactly where. So you have to go a very specific pattern, and I used to just, okay, well first of all, you're supposed to go from these flames, from flame to flame, and if you watch where the sparks are blowing off the flame, that'll kind of show you where the next one is. See, this is kind of the first part, and there's a second part which doesn't have these flames right here. And that's where it gets got kind of confusing my first time. So you just look at where the sparks are blowing. Okay, and this is kind of like a checkpoint right here. When you get these two flames, now after this there are no more of these flames. So what I used to do is slowly walk, and once I started seeing the fog envelop the screen, I'd back up. That was a very long, tedious process. I found out it's easier to carry this torch here and just follow the sparks that are coming off there. So I'm going to have to get rid of a weapon because my stash is full. So I'm going to get rid of this Knight's Claymore because inside Korok Forest there is a shrine that has a Knight's Claymore in it. Okay, so just follow the sparks. I want to walk kind of slow here. And eventually the sparks will change direction. So you have to change direction with it. Okay, right there. So past this tree, I'm going to go this way. Yeah, I can't even imagine how tedious it was the first couple times I played this when I was sitting there, not using a torch, just slowly walking in every direction. I mean, I had to walk really slow because that fog starts enveloping the screen. I had to back up before it enveloped. Now we're going this way. We're going to start here in the shrine. Okay, change direction again. Okay, now eventually when you get to this point, you're going to see the gap in between the mountains. You go ahead and put your torch away and just run that way. I don't know if those are actually mountains or just rocks, but anyway, once you see that opening, you can just run through. Here's Korok Forest. And there's the Master Sword directly ahead. Now we're going to see a couple cutscenes.
You are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
Who is that? Did I doze off again? It's you. You finally decided to return. Better 100 years, I'd nearly given up hope on seeing you again. Even my patience has limits, you know. That look on your face tells me that you have no recollection of me, however. I have watched over Hyrule since time immemorial. Many have referred to me over the ages as the Deku Tree. That is the weapon created by the ancient goddess. The sword that seals the darkness that only the chosen knight can wield against the Calamity Ganon. Believe it or not, it was actually you who wielded that sword 100 years ago. But I must warn you to take extreme caution. The sword stands as a test to anyone who would dare attempt to possess it. As you are now, I cannot say whether you are worthy or not. If you sought to free the sword in any sort of weakened state, you would surely lose your life where you stand. Best of luck, young one.
See, the first time I tried this, okay, now we gotta read. Okay, the first time I tried this, I had like 20 heart containers or more. Actually, it was probably like 30 because I beat all 4 Divine Beasts before getting the Master Sword my very first playthrough. The second time, I only had like 11 or 12 heart containers, I think. I didn't realize you needed 13. So I tried eating one of my... Well, I tried pulling it out first and I died. So then I realized you needed 13. So what I tried doing is eating one of my hearty meals. Give me some temporary hearts. It turns out that doesn't work. You have to have 13 red heart containers. Temporary ones won't work. And another thing, you don't have to worry about your stash being full. The Master Sword has its own spot that'll appear once you pull it out, so you don't have to get rid of any weapons to replace it. Or I should say you don't have to replace any weapons with the Master Sword. So you got to hold the A button down.
Your master will come for you. Until then, you shall rest safely here. Although the slumber of restoration will most certainly deprive him of his memories, please trust me when I say that I know he will arrive before you yet again.
If I may be so bold, what is it that you are planning to do next, Princess?
The Master Sword. I heard it speak to me. It seems that my role is unfinished. There is still something I must do.
I sense there is great strength in your dedication.
Great Deku Tree, I ask of you, when he returns, can you please relay this message? Tell him
Now then, words intended for him would sound much better in the tones of your voice, don't you think?
Yes.
Those are some ugly clothes. It looks like she used the Master Sword to unclog a toilet. She needed a plumber. She could have called Mario.
What you just saw happened where you stand 100 years ago. After you were separated from the sword, the princess thought to bring it here, where she knew that it would be safe under my watch. She continues to fight, trapped deep within the confines of Hyrule Castle. Her heart cascades with faith that you will return. She has a smile like the sun. I would do much to feel its warmth upon me once again.
See, the Master Sword strength is only at a 30 normally, but whenever you're near anything tainted by Ganon's malice, like if you're near Ganon, or if you're inside, like doing one of the Divine Beasts, or if you're near a Guardian, this power jumps up to a 60. And you don't want to use it when strength is down to the 30 because it seems to use up its power real fast. And when the sword uses up its power, it looks like it breaks. And what happens is it's disabled for 10 minutes. You have to wait for 10 minutes before it can be recharged again. Now if you're using it at a 60 strength, it seems to take quite a while before it runs out of power, but if you're using it at a 30 strength, if you're fighting something like bokoblins, moblins with it, it doesn't take many hits at all before it ends up getting weak. This is what annoys me. They have the ability to put talking in the game. We heard the Deco Tree talk. It's like, what, they run out of memory or something? Now we have to read this text? Couldn't they have just added that to what he was saying? Okay, here's something else you can do. If you got full heart containers, you press the R1 button as if you're going to throw your weapon. It shoots a beam out of it. And you don't have to worry about throwing your Master Sword. You cannot lose it or drop it or anything. So it's something that's pretty cool. So there's my Master Sword right there. As you can see, it's got its own slot. I didn't have to get rid of any weapons for it. And for the most part, I usually use the Master Sword against Guardians. It's easiest if you've beaten the Divine Beast, Varudanya, and you get the Rook's Protection. That way you also have a shield around yourself. And you got the Master Sword in the shield. It's easier to fight against a Guardian. Plus, Ancient Arrows, so... But, Master Sword is one thing I definitely like to use against Guardians. And also against Divine Beast. Now I usually beat the first two Divine Beasts before getting the Master Sword. And by the first two Divine Beasts, I'm talking about Varuta and Vamedo. So then I get the Master Sword, and then I usually go after the other two Divine Beasts with the Master Sword, using it against the Phantom of the Divine Beast, where it seems to do a lot more damage than the normal sword. So That's how you get the Master Sword.